Sabi ko nga, there are always challenges. Nagkaroon naman ng accident doon sa terminal namin.
Ano?
Nasunog. The whole terminal. 2016. You have existing loans.
Magkano pinag-uusapan natin during
Well, malaki yun. It worth billion.
B.
Money Masters with Chinky Tan.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on Chink Positive are their own and do not necessarily represent those of the producers, hosts, or network. Chink Positive is for entertainment and informational purposes only. Viewers should perform with their own research.
May pera ba sa LPG at pwede ba talaga tayong umasenso at talaga umunlad? Yan ang aalamin natin sa episode natin na ito. Hi there, this is Chinky Tan, your pambansang world coach. Sa episode natin na ito, pag-uusapan po natin isang napakagandang storya po. Siya po ay ang presidente ng Republic Gas Corporation or otherwise known as Regasco. Siya rin ay naglingkod bayan, isang former congressman. At siya rin po ang nagpanukala ng isang mahalagang batas na siya na rin po ang magkukwento. So let us welcome the founder at the same time, the owner of Regasco. Let us welcome Mr. Arnel T. Palakpakan!
Thank you po.
Sir Arnel.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, thank you very much for granting us the opportunity.
Yeah, it's a pleasure po.
Sige, batiin mo muna yung mga taong nakikinig na nanonood.
Ay, magandang araw po sa mga ka-LPG dyan.
Oo. Mga ka-LPG, no? Parang mga ka-iponaryo. Arnel, bring us back, no? I know that you're Filipino-Chinese, right?
Yes.
Both of your parents, no, may dugong Chino siya. Ikaw ay second generation?
Yeah, I considered myself as second generation.
So, saan ka pinanganak at saan ka lumaki?
Well, ang roots namin ay sa lalawigan ng Isabela in Cauayan City. So, until now, nandun pa rin naman yung mga siblings ko and my parents. Dalawa kami tatlo siguro, I can consider. Tatlo kaming magkakapatid ang lumipatan ng Manila. But time to time, we always visit the province.
Okay. Ilan kayo magkakapatid?
We are 4. Lalaki kaming lahat.
Pang-ilang ka?
Panganay.
Oo. Panganay. Di ba parang sinasabi nila kasi pagka ang panganay daw malaking responsibilidad lalo na sa Filipino-Chinese na family.
Yes, I think kung malaki ang gap ng mga edad, probably. But amin pa kasing magkakapatid, halos sunod-sunod kami. Kaya yung edad hindi nagkakalayo. Only 1 year, sometimes 1.5 lang ang pagitan namin.
So, nung bata kayo, kamusta ang kalagayan in terms of, syempre, yung pangkabuhayan?
Well, nag-start ang mga parents namin that they started parang startup. Normal naman yan sa mga nasa probinsya na they engage into the agribusiness. Buying and selling, agricultural product, from fertilizers to pesticides. And then, in return, yun naman produce ng farmer, yun naman pambayad, which is yung palay. Dahil doon, they started and decided to build a small rice mill. So, naging rice mill ang negosyo namin nung kabataan ko.
So, nung bata ka pa, may negosyo na sila or yung bata pa, nag-uumpisa pa lang sila?
Nag-uumpisa pa lang. And I can remember nung lumipat kami sa Cauayan City, doon nag-start yung business nila. Na yung bang from a family business nung father ko, na when you get married, kailangan separate ka na di ba? You have to build your own business for your own family. Okay. So, yun yung nangyari. Nung lumipat kami ng Cauayan, startup siya ngayon.
So, nung bata ka, ano yung naalala mong challenging moments, if there is any?
Always naman, siguro, it's normal sa isang Filipino-Chinese family na even you are in school, pagkatapos ng pag-aaral mo, pagbalik mo ng bahay, kailangan mo tulungan ang mga parents.
Bantay tindahan.
Bantay tindahan. Normal yata yun Yun yata ang culture
Ilan taong ka doon?
During that time, mga around 12, 13.
Wow, grade 6 and first year high school yun.
Yeah, ganun.
During that time, wala ka bang parang labo naman? Imbis na maglalaro ako kasama ng friends ko, nasa tindahan ako.
During that time, ang only playground naman kasi is during the recess. Pero pag uwi namin, we are required na tumulong. Parang I think yun yung early way of teaching you how to be a businessman. Yun yata ang culture noon Malayo na ngayon, pero during that time, ganun ang training sa atin.
Tama. Ako, naalala ko, tuloy, grade 6 ako, nagbebenta na ako. Toilet paper, damit, sapatos, lahat. Kasi during that time, yung negosyo naman ni Papa nalugi.
Yeah.
So, it was really very hard. So, Arnel, because of those moments, ano yung naging impact sa'yo nung na-expose ka at a very young age na, yun nga, na magtrabaho at magbantay ng tindahan?
Well, I think starting on a young age, parang ito yung naging training ground. Dala-dala mo ito from high school to even college. Well, I can still remember after college, ako yung morning class. Yung pangalawa sa akin, yung brother ko ang sa afternoon class. So, yung brother ko ang nandoon as a trader. Nagbebenta ng bigas sa Dagupan.
Sa umaga?
Sa umaga.
Ikaw?
Ako ang collector.
Talagang grabe,
So, ganun ang naging upbringing sa amin. Kaya, part of your system already na you want to also continue with that. Yun ang naging training sa iyo.
Pero during the time, curious lang ako. May sweldo ba?
Wala. I think ang ibibigay sa'yo, allowance. The normal allowance. Then, every time na lumuwas sila, they will bring you to a shopping center to buy your things na gusto mo. Ayun.
Ano yung unforgettable moment mo nung bata ka? Ano yung kunyari, pag nilalabas na kayo? Ano yung unforgettable?
Well, until now siguro, kanya-kanya kami ng kapatid ko. Pero ang pinaka-unforgettable moments na kung minsan ito yung kinaiinisan ko. Let's say, a cousin of ours na may birthday, which is we have to go to celebrate, di ba? Pakikipaglaro. Pero because of the business, nalilate kami dumating. So, even though gustong-gusto mo nang pumunta, nahuhuli ka dahil
kailangan sara tindahan.
Kailangan sara muna tindahan. Yun, tingin ko yung pinaka naalala ko.
Totoo yun. Kasi may mga moments na ganun talaga yung nagsasakripisyo ka, yung pagpunta nun, patapos na yung party. Oo. So, after that, nag-college ka, graduate ka, anong course?
Business management.
Business management. So, pag nag-graduate mo, anong ginawa mo?
Well, ang ginawa ko na lang is I concentrate on trading of agricultural product like itong bigas. And then, of course, dahil sa training, naghahanap ka ng other product para ma-incorporate dun sa business na kasalukuyan mong ibinebenta. So, I even try selling of cement product. Yeah. And then after that, yun na nga, pumasok din ako sa LPG as a retailer.
Sige, before we talk about the retailer ng LPG, pero curious lang ako. Kasi minsan, kung ano yung pinipilit minsan sa anak, parang ayaw nila sundan. In your case, hindi ganun. Hindi ba naging ganun yung ano mo?
Well, tama, we are almost the same. Siguro majority ng kabataan noon na train ng parents. Gusto nilang you have to follow the footsteps ng negosyo ng parents. So they want me to be in the rice business.
Gusto mo ba talaga, ikaw?
May hesitation kasi nafe-feel ko na parang hindi ito bagay sa akin.
Ano talaga ang gusto mo nung bata ka?
Well, ang gusto hobby ko lang naman talaga. Well, in the end, when you are around 15, going 25th, or during those gap ng edad, may ibang idea na gusto mong pasukin.
Sige nga, ano yung idea na gusto mong pasukan during that time?
Well, more on, I think I want to be more on the marketing side of other product rather than rice. Yun. Kasi sometimes ang feeling ko, it's very competitive in that market, and I'm not a marketing guy. I think my forte is management. So I want to build things that I can manage people who will be helping me grow the business. So parang ganon yung direction ko.
Guys, ito lang, iba kasi yung ang sinasabi ni Boss Arnel na yung ikaw nagnenegosyo ka, nagbebenta ka. Diba? Nagbebenta Iba yun Iba yung nagmamanage ka ng business
Yes.
Tama? I think you are more of a CEO diba?
Yeah, tingin ko yun yung parang gusto ko na because the difference between a marketing and a management is there is a risk of putting investment. You have to invest. Unlike sa marketing, what you sell is you can convert it into cash. Walang risk that it will be a dead asset. Yung mga ganon. So, sa akin naman, iba yung pananaw ko that I prefer to grow a business by investing on a certain sector or industry.
Okay. So, right now, ito na nga. So, na-discover mo na yung passion mo talaga is more on management, di ba? So, take us back nung ikaw ay pumasok na sa LPG business. Bakit LPG?
Because it's also a basic commodity. just like rice. But the difference is there's an investment and a risk, which is ito'y flammable. And when I started being a dealer, ang next target ko is to become a refilling plant. So yun yung journey, going into another level of the business.
So ma-advise mo ba sa mga taong nakikinig ngayon as right now as a business owner na maganda kung magnenegosyo yung talagang necessity?
Yes, still ang tingin ko, dahil sabi ko nga I'm not a marketing guy. So ang hanap ko talaga is what are the product that is really a necessity and a basic commodity that people are coming to buy that product because it is a commodity that needed every day.
Paano namang kitaan yan? Sige, bago yung sa LPG, educate us. Kasi mainit yung issue ng bigas ngayon eh.
Yeah.
So, paano kumikita from magsasaka, tapos sa inyo, tapos hanggang umaabot sa farm, sa market?
Yes.
Educate us.
Well, during that time, when we started the rice milling business, okay pa noon. During that time that it is not open yung importation of rice. But when the government start importing, naging disadvantage for the local farmers.
Oo.
Dahil they cannot compete dahil yung production cost is higher than the imported rice. So even the rice miller, lumiliit, nag-shrink yung margin. So that is the time that I felt that napakahirap mag-rice business because lahat kayang gumawa nun. Even a startup company or individual can enter into the rice business because it's a basic commodity na you don't need any investment. You just buy the product and sell it. In the end of the day, pag hindi ka kumita, exit ka doon sa industry na yan. Yun yung nakikita ko that there's a lot of competitors that is coming in na sa mga rice miller that has a investment in the machineries, nagiging cost ng disadvantage.
Ganun din ang nangyari yan. Masasabi mo, Arnel, yung sa fashion industry here in the Philippines, di ba?
Yeah.
Di ba dati namamahagpag ang lalaki ng mga branches ng mga local brands pero nung pumasok yung China?
Yeah.
Di ba?
Tama. Oo. Kasi it's many of our importers, sa tingin ko, it becomes a disadvantage do sa may mga planta na nagpro-produce niyan. Because, of course, may heavy investment, lalo na yung overhead, lalo na kung you just loan the capitalization that you are building the factory. So, part yan ng mga expenses.
So, let's go back to LPG. Nung nag-umpisa ka, di ba, as a distributor, magkano pinuhunan mo nun?
Well, I started with 500,000.
Pero malaki na rin yun, ha?
Malaki na ron. That is 1995.
Value niya siguro 5M na ngayon yan.
Mga ganon.
So, yung sa 500,000, so hindi ka pa may-ari ng brand, sinubukan mo lang?
Sinubukan ko lang.
Kamusta yung payback time? Ang ibig sabihin payback time, guys, yung ROI, kailan na bawi yung 500,000?
Well, during that time, it is still regulated. The industry is regulated. So, masasabi namin that there are few who is given we call it dealership. So, yung payback time nun, maybe in 2 to 3 years,
Uy,
mababawi mo na yun.
mabilis na yun.
Mabilis yun during that time. Doon ko nakita na probably, sabi ko, ang aking next target will be a refilling plant.
Sige, refilling plant, ang ibig sabihin yan, ikaw na magkakarga.
Ako na magkakarga sa sarili ko ng brand.
Hindi na from the brand na binibilan mo? Wow.
Yeah.
Pero gaano katagal mo pinag-aralan muna yung LPG system and business?
Well, it took us 5 years.
Okay.
Dahil 1998, nung na-deregulate ang industry, when I started, 1995. So, when we build our first refilling plant, it is 1998 during that time. Start na kami noon, mga 1999, soft opening. And then full operation, that will be around near 2000 na yan.
So, yan na yung brand ng Regasco?
Yan na yung brand ng Regasco.
So, technically, how many years na Regasco?
So, sa ngayon, 1998 ang start nun. So, it's
26?
more than 20 plus years.
Wow.
Magta-30 years na kami.
Galing. Ano yung mga, syempre, alam mo, ang negosyo, pag nag-umpisa, maganda yan sa papel eh.
Yeah.
Pero what were the challenges that you face? And how did you overcome it?
Okay. Doon siguro muna sa when we started up the refilling plant. Okay yung startup namin. It is under a new era, which is the regulation.
Ay, by the way, ano ba yung, pasensya na kayo, educate us. Ano yung difference ng regulation at deregulated?
Yeah, okay. Ang regulated, it is controlled by the government, even the pricing.
Oh.
Yes. During the deregulation, the government has no power to control investors who wants to enter into the business. They will just supervise and guide them on what permits. Na
Parang free market na
free
siya.
market na siya, oo.
Oo.
Especially the pricing. It will be world market price
Okay.
ang basis na ngayon.
So, nung nasa ano ka na, sa free market ka na.
Yes.
So, ano yung challenges ulit?
Well, ang challenges naman doon is there are a lot of players coming in.
Competition.
So ngayon, pag nandyan na ang competition, so in order for you to compete, then kailangan ibaba mo na ngayon yung quality. The quality start to go down. Then the services. Well, at first, maganda dahil nagbababaan ng presyo.
So, it's good for the,
For the consumer initially.
Okay.
It's good for the consumer. But later on, you will realize na ang pangit na ng service, the quality of the cylinders are nasa level na it's dangerous already.
parang substandard.
Substandard na siya. So there are also a lot of substandard product coming in. So yun na yung start naman ng challenge ng industry. Especially us that we want to maintain the quality.
Siyempre, kung ikaw, yung you want to protect your name, ayaw mo naman ibaba yung quality.
Yes.
So, how were you able to, siyempre, paano mo linabanan yun?
Well, ang issue doon is you have to follow what is the game plan and game directions of your competitor. So, yun yung time that sometimes you sacrifice on the quality of your cylinder. Let's say, there is a rule that every 5 years you have to requalify. Sa ngayon, during that time, hindi mo na i-enter into spending for the requalification of the cylinders in order to be competitive. So, sa tingin namin, hindi kayang i-improve ang services and quality of the product without an enabling law. So, yun yung napag-isip-isip ng mga industry that follows the rule na kailangan magkaroon ulit tayo ng another batas at itong tinitignan namin is ibalik sa regulation so that the government can have the control.
So, kayo na mismo na negosyante ang nagsabi, parang hindi maganda to.
Yes.
Kaya, di ba kasi, as a matter of fact, pag negosyante ka, mas maganda kung free market siya eh.
Yeah, tama.
Diba?
Oo.
Pero it deals already with safety issue, hindi ka makakompete. Siyempre, sila substandard, ikaw hindi.
Yeah.
Siyempre, yung cost mo, mas tatalunin ka talaga.
Yes.
Kaya that's the reason why nag-agree na kayo as a group na kailangan regulated ulit.
Yes, oo. Kailangan regulated na lang ulit. But of course, there's a lot of proposals that kaya inabot ng 19 years eh. From 1998, pumasa lang yung regulation law, back to regulation, ng 2021. Because even the industry itself has issues. Well, natural lang naman yon that they want to have a law that is protective of your interest, di ba? Pero in the end, ang maganda lang naman din nangyari because for 19 years, na-discuss thoroughly yung intent of the law at nag-decide ang government na they give us the guidelines na it should be for the protection of the consumer.
So, is it because of this yung parang burden nyo na ibalik sa that's the reason why that push you to also enter into parang legislation?
Yes, but before that, dahil sabi ko nga, I started to become a dealer and then become a refilling plant. And then my next plan is to have a terminal so that I can import my own product from the source or from supplying my own requirements or my demand. So, nagawa ko naman yun noong 2015. So, I enter into a terminal business. I build a terminal in Batangas to cater my requirement.
Wow.
Sabi ko nga, there are always challenges. At that time, during my first 6 months of operation, nagkaroon naman ng accident dun sa terminal namin.
Ano?
Nasunog. The whole terminal. 2016. It's maybe partly yung mga tao ko, there are some negligence. But in the end, yun na nga yung biggest challenge.
Ang question, may protection ba yan? May insurance ba?
Well, may insurance, pero sabi ko nga, many are advising me to just claim the whole amount or the whole terminal. Tapos, exit ka na lang sa business na yan.
Okay.
And then, start another sector or another business.
Okay. Anong ginawa mo?
Well, sabi ko, hindi ko kaya eh. That is because during that time, 46 years old na ako eh. So, di ba, sabi nga nila, once you hit 40, nandun ka na sa permanent na sector na gusto mo.
Okay.
So, I decided na ituloy na lang yon. So, I have to rebuild it. Many are telling me that hindi mo makakaya yan because you need maybe 1 or 1.5 years to rebuild it.
So,
But
gaano katagal mo na-rebuild?
6 months.
Wow! Sige nga. Tell us, kasi yung parang, Arnel, no, yung parang nawala eh. Nawala yung business eh.
Yes.
Di ba? Hindi lang yung financial aspect eh.
Yeah.
Pero may emotional aspect pa rin.
Yes, oo. Nandun na yun talagang sabi ko nga, this is the sector that I want to be identified with. Dito ako magre-retire sa LPG industry.
Pero na-depress ka ba noon during that
Well,
time?
talagang sabi nga eh, di ba, na kahit pagod ka, hindi ka makatulog dahil you always thinking of how you can recover. Oo. So, well, in the end, I'm still lucky that I have a family that is very supportive. So,
How did they support you?
Well, first, I talked to them. First, I talked to my wife. Kasi in the end, kailangan yung partner mo talagang magiging strength mo eh. So, yun yung ginawa ko, kinausap ko siya. So, secondly, syempre, you need some financial support. So, I talked to my parents. At the same time, my wife talked to her parents. So, lahat naman sila is more than willing to assist us. But of course, the assistance is really for us to just repair it and tignan na lang natin kung pagkatapos nun, how we can again start it. Diba?
Pero, ito lang you don't have to answer. Umiyak ka nun?
Oo naman. Oo. Dahil sabi ko nga sa gabi, habang natutulog yung aking pamilya, gising ako dahil I'm also always thinking of what will be the next days going to bring. Di ba, ganun?
Stressful ba?
Very stressful, oo. Kaya nga sabi ko nga, yung during that time, maliban sa I have to convince my family to support me in this plan of rehabilitating the facility, I have to talk to all my creditors. Kasi yun ang pinakamahirap doon. You have existing loans.
Magkano pinag-uusapan natin during
Well, malaki yun. It worth billion.
B?
Yeah.
Ang hirap talaga yun. Kasi wala kang cash flow eh. Sarado lahat, tama?
Tama. Oo. Kaya nga I have to set a meeting with all our creditors and even the banks. So sabi ko, this is my target. So in the end, nag-agree naman sila because nakita naman nila na kung pipilitin nila and kill the business, lalo walang makokolekta.
Tama.
Yeah.
Hindi kasi, Arnel, ito lang. I just want to, kasi kinikwento mo, pero pag hindi naintindihan ng tao, I always tell people, mayaman naman. You don't understand. Kailangan maintindihan nyo ito sasabihin ko. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. Kasi kung maliit ng negosyo mo, di ba? Kunyari,
madali iwanan.
Oh, ha?
Madali iwanan.
Oo, at saka madali ka makarecover eh.
Yes.
Pero kung yung responsibility mo kasi malaki na,
ang
hirap na eh. Di ba? And then, ang negosyo po, para mas maintindihan nyo, depende yan sa cash flow.
Correct.
Kung walang pumapasok na pera, ano ipambabayad mo?
Yes.
Wala eh. May ano ka eh, di ba? May babayaran ka mga obligasyon eh.
Oh, tama yun. At pinakamahirap doon is meron kang obligasyon na kailangan mong magjuju. Kaya nga sabi ko nga, maybe this is one of my advice.
Sige.
To those who encounter this. Na wag mahiya, puntahan nyo yung creditor. Kausapin. And explain it to them na itong plano mo at ibigay mo yung direction of your plan. And then it's up to them to accept it or not.
Ang hirap. Kasi may mga iba magagalit eh.
Yes.
Meron bang nagalit?
Wala naman so far. Kasi ang sabi ko naman sa kanila, ito nga rin ang good thing that sabi ko nga, when I started talking to my creditors, ang sabi ko sa kanila, there's a small support that will be assisted by my family. I just want your trust that itong direction na gagawin ko, I can deliver it. So sabi niya, kailan? Sabi ko, in 6 months, I can rebuild it. And then be operational. And then we can normalize our operation.
Alam mo, habang kinikwento mo yan, yung parang na-immerse ako sa moment na yun eh. Ang hirap talaga. Walk us through, paano ka naka-recover?
Okay, I talked to my suppliers and contractors. I told them that this is the situation. Meron silang collection, pero in order for them to collect the balance, we have to build the terminal. So I have this remaining cash on hand that the intention is really to build the terminal. So yun ang ginawa namin. So in order for us to maximize everything, sabi ko nga, in the last 6 months of rebuilding the terminal, siguro I can say na mga 15 times na ako nakauwi sa bahay. 15 days. So, kasi doon ako sa terminal natutulog. Just to make sure that we are on target. We encountered the problem February 20. By July, we're operational.
Wow.
Yeah. Then, full operation was September.
September.
Yes.
So,
same year.
So, kunyari, I'm sure pumapasok na yung pera.
Yes.
Di ba? We're talking about a lot of money yung kulang. How long it took you naman to pay off yung obligation mo?
Well, sa business naman, you don't need to pay all their debt eh. Di ba? Ang importante lang naman, makita nila that you have the capacity to pay. So, yun na yun nag-start noon. Even until now, hindi ko pa naman fully paid lahat eh. Dahil we continue to expand.
Hindi.
Iba na yun eh. Di ba? Pero sabi ko nga natin, when the creditors saw you as a healthy company that has the capacity to serve yung obligations naman, nandun naman yung support nila. Kasi ayaw din naman nila na maging stagnant ka na lang.
Oo.
Kasi isa sa nakita naming challenge kung maging stagnant ka. You will be more, we can say na to become not competitive in the industry. So, when we finish the terminal, ang next na ginawa namin is yung marketing stores na namin, yung binuild namin. So that we can say that we can continue to grow the market.
Yeah, just to give you a perspective na para balansehin natin sa negosyo kasi. Minsan nagtataka kayo, kunyari sinasabi ng boss, kailangan taasan niyo yung benta niyo from compared to last year to this year. Boss, pagod na kami. Kasi ang reality is ganito. If your business is not growing, your business is dying. Bakit po? Pataas ng pataas po ang overhead cost. Pataas ng pataas ang cost of good. Minsan, hindi pwedeng itaas agad ang price.
Yes.
So, ang nangyayari niyan, yung profit margin mo, kumakonti as the owner. And the way to compensate it, mga kapatid, for your educational purposes, is kailangan taasan yung damihan ng benta para ma-compensate yun.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, tama yun. Dalawa yung direction na ginawa namin. Because naging very competitive pa rin eh. Even we already recover. But of course, the competition is there. So your margin start to shrink.
Oo.
Tapos there's price war. So the next is how you grow your volume. To grow the volume, you have to compete with the price na continuously shrinking. So ang ginawa namin ngayon, this is what I said, yung aming expansion, is to develop more stores.
Tama.
Yeah. So that when that stores focus now on the retail. Because on the retail side, mas mataas ang margin.
Exactly.
So, yun na yung ginagawa namin even now. Continuously, we're growing our stores, our retail stores, so that we can cushion the price war. Yeah, we might not be the number 1, number 2, or even number 3 in terms of market share. But we want to make sure that our customers and as a company is happy with the margin.
Tama. Kasi at the end of the day, ang goal ng isang negosyo, kumita. Pag hindi kumikita negosyo, magsasara. Pag magsara ang negosyo, kasama damay ang mga empleyado. So, help us to naman. Kasi may mga iba na kinikwento mo yan. I'm sure nakaka-relate sila. Lubog sila sa utang.
Yeah.
At normally, ang ginagawa nila, nangungutang, pambayad ng utang.
Yes.
Can you give them an advice? Tama ba yung ganong diskarte?
Well, ganito yun. Everybody encounters that At marami, sinubukan din yon. But ang direction, I think that is more reasonable that can sustain your business is to talk to your creditor. Kung mag-juju yan at wala kang capacity, you have to have a plan. A business plan that is your belief that your creditor will accept it. Ano yung plan na yun? So that is what I also told our creditors. Ganito ang direction ko. This will not pay you immediately, but there is the possibility of fulfilling all my obligations to you pagka itong plano kong to ay na-execute ko.
Kaya parang pinapakita mo yung kakayanan mo.
Yes.
That's number one. At saka willingness mo magbayad.
Yes.
Kaya ang problema kasi ng iba, wala nang kakayanan, hindi na pinapakita, hindi pa willing magbayad.
Yes. Not only showing your willingness, but also you have to show your capacity and capability. Yeah.
Galing. Right now, yun nga, paano ka naman napasok sa, yun nga, yung LPG-MA? Paano naman nag-umpisa yun?
Well, all sectors naman in the LPG has an association.
Okay.
So, because required din naman yun that you need to build an association para every sectors has their association that can represent them in terms of meetings in the government agencies, mga ganon. So, noong 2010, we decided to enter into politics dahil sa feeling namin, since 2002, when the law na aming baby na gusto namin ipasok,
hindi napapansin.
Hindi napapansin. So, that is when I decided to try to enter into Congress by the party list system. Luckily naman, na-accredit yung LPG-MA as an LPG sector representing professionals. So, ang ginawa namin, yun yung isinalang namin na batas. But even I'm already in Congress, kailangan mo pa rin talaga i-defend ito.
Oo nga.
For both houses, Senate, and Congress.
Tama.
Madalas, every 3 years, na ipapasa namin sa Congress. Pero hindi pumapasa sa Senate.
Anong dahilan?
Sometimes yung preparation. Because 3 years di ba? 3 years ang term ng bawat office. Sometimes yung 3 years is not enough.
Siguro, malapit na ipasa, tapos nagbago na ulit yung leadership. Another round na naman.
Back to square one na naman.
Ang hirap ng ganun.
Yes. Kaya nga nangyari, noong 2021, dahil marami doon sa mga colleagues ko, nakita naman nila na ito na lang yung batas na aming pinapasok. So, many of our colleagues assisted us. Sinuportahan nila.
And what was that law?
This is Republic Act 11592 or yung tinatawag nilang LIRA, LPG Industry Regulations Act. Yeah.
Okay.
So, doon nakalagay na ngayon doon yung mga importance of the safety, what are the role of the government agencies. And I think ang isa sa pinakamaganda ron is yung tinatawag naming provisions na cylinder exchange, swapping, and improvement program. Ang maganda lang naman dito because of the 19 years in the making, minake sure naman ito ng both our sectors and the agencies of government na huwag itong maging pahirap sa consumer. So, ganun yung nangyari.
Pero educate us.
Yeah.
Kunyari ako, gusto kong interesado ako pumasok sa LPG industry as a distributor or paano yung kitaan ko muna? Educate us first.
Okay. Sa ngayon, it's now better dahil there is a guaranteed income already.
Paano?
Like for example, in our brand, in Regasco, if you are a dealer, you have a guaranteed 15 pesos per kilo. Per kilo na gross margin.
Magkano isang ganito ang kilo?
11 kilograms.
So, ang kita ko, mga 165 pesos.
Yes.
Isang tangke?
Yes, isang tangke.
Okay.
Now, some dealers naman prefer to have a less income. Binibigay nila as discount. But in the end of the day,
choice
na niya yun. But as of now, under the new law, there is a suggested retail price that we have to post it sa mga price board. So pagka doon sa suggested retail price na yan, you have a guaranteed income already. Kasi pinoproteksyonan ng gobyerno na kailangan every distribution chain mayroon income so that they can have the capacity to maintain the safety of the cylinder.
So kanyari ako small dealer ako.
Yes.
Magkano ang potential na pwede kong kitain on a monthly from a small or medyo big?
Well, ang experience na lang namin sa ngayon based on some of our dealers, they have a capitalization of let's say 350,000 startup.
Okay, ano kasama na doon?
Cylinders and the store already provided. Meron na siyang ready market, meron na rin siyang system, accounting system na pinaprovide.
So parang franchise na rin siya, technically.
Parang franchise na rin siya. That is the lowest franchise. There are some franchise locations, store locations namin that reaching around 5 million because mas malaki yung volume. It depends on the volume.
So at 350,000 na muna, kunyari may isang OFW nakikinig dito at nanonood at nagtatanong yan, magkano naman pwede kong kitain on a monthly basis?
Yeah. Well, ang amin nakikitang maganda ngayon is that in 1 year time, nababawi niya yon.
So ang ibig sabihin mo niyan, pwede siyang net ba o gross income ng mga 35 to 40,000 a month?
Yes. I can say that yung net mga around 30 when you start. Pero pag tumaas yung market sales mo.
Siyempre, mas mabilis.
Mas mabilis yan.
So, maganda na. Ang payback time pala sa mga dealers nasa 1 to 2 years.
Yes, 1 to 2 years. And ang ginagaranti din namin dyan, if let's say, huwag naman mangyari, umayaw yung franchise, refundable.
Binabuyback nyo?
Binabuyback namin yung store.
Kasi pwede naman patakbuhin ng next na kukuha.
Yes, kaya in the end, wala rin naman talaga siyang talo.
Oo.
Except of course, yung operational expense kung hindi siya masyadong maalam sa management.
Ano naman yung challenge? Just educate us. Kasi syempre, urgent yan eh. Di ba? Sabihin, uy, wala na kaming deliveran mo kami. Pwede bang na lang next week na lang? Hindi pwedeng ganun yun eh. Ano yung challenge sa mga ganung business?
Well, ang challenge lang naman doon, when it comes to the delivery, sa tingin ko, everything is taken care of. Naturuan namin sila on how to properly manage the store, how many people should be hired. Kami na rin nagtre-train sa tao. Ang challenge lang namin sa ngayon na nakikita is financial management. Dahil kahit kumikita yung store, Nagagamit sa ibang bagay.
Typical yan. Guys, ay nako, lalo na yung mga, syempre, ngayon may cash flow ka na, kumikita ka na, nakikita mo na yung pera. Di ba? At saka, ito ba, syempre, may tendency ba na credit ba sa inyo? Inuutang din sa inyo?
Ang maganda rito sa industry ngayon, because of the new law, there are a lot of financial institutions, the banks. Pwedeng magpabigay ng loan, free, no collateral.
Oo.
Soft loan, ang tawag nila ron. The interest is not that high. Kung talagang properly managed lang ang business, malaki ang potential.
Ayun nga nagiging problema, kapatid. So nakikita na may pumapasok na benta, daan-daan libo. Feeling nila, minsan, pera nila.
Yes.
Nagagamit, di ba, na pambibili. Pagkatapos yung pag nagbabayad na ng collection na, magko-collect na, doon sila nahihirapan.
Yes. And madalas, maybe because maganda yung business sa LPG, nakapag-isip ng another business na yun ang nagsasiphon out ngayon nung kinikita ng LPG business.
Guys, wag na wag niyong gagawin yan. Nako, I've witnessed a lot of business. Yan ang nagiging failure. Kumikita na to.
Yeah.
Tapos, kinuha yung pera dito para mag-umpisa ng negosyo. Dito naman nalulugi. So, yung kita dito, napupunta lang dito, and the process, hindi nila kaya na mismanage na yung dalawa kasi de-focus na. Yeah. Pati ito, apektado na.
Yes. Yan ang madalas na na-encounter namin.
So, guys, so bago pa kayo pumasok, alam nyo na. Number 1, profitable ang ganitong negosyo. However, kailangan ma-manage na mabuti ang operation at pag-manage ng pera. So, right now, ito naman, paano nyo naman, syempre, yung mga taong interesado? Ay, gusto ko pumasok. Gusto ko mag-LPG. Yeah. How do you professionalize it?
Okay. Under the provisions of the new law, RA 11592, there's the the program of DOE, the Department of Energy, ang tinatawag nilang Training Institute. Yeah, they have now accredited 3 associations, and one of the associations is LPGMA, that is now recognized training institute. It is a 2-day course na there is how to operate the business in and out, how to conduct the inventory, and how to manage the people, and even up to the safety. Nandun din, partner with the Bureau of Fire, who will teach not only the owner, kasama pati empleyado. Tuturuan yan na kung paano yung pag-manage at paano pag-make sure that yung mga so-called accident maiwasan. All of those who will be entering into the business, mandatory na kailangan pumasok sa training institute na yan, and there will be a training certificate to be issued.
Parang ano yun eh. Ang ganda yan. Alam mo, parang yung sa driving.
Yes.
Di ba kailangan, may license ka. Every year, ilan ang mga pumapasok sa mga training institute?
Well, that is just been recognized. Kick-off nito will be January. Yeah. It can help a lot of family, especially OFW, na magkaroon ng sarili nilang negosyo and still can contribute to the government in hiring people na mga jobless. So, ang isang nagiging problem, yung nabanggit ko kanina, yung financial literacy.
Okay.
That is also part of the program sa ngayon na gusto naming i-include para maturuan itong mga LPG participants who engage into the business na matutong i-manage yung pera nila.
Baka gusto nyong o kailangan daw ng financial literacy, mga kapatid. Sino dapat ang tawagan?
In-include ko yun sa submission sa DOE. Nasabi namin, kailangan, kasi sayang our first engagement with the execution of the law, this year lang, 6 months na pumasok ang Union Bank. No collateral.
Okay.
From 500,000 to as high as 5 million.
Wow.
But in the end, hininto niya. Kasi na-mismanage. Tapos, kami ang namili ng tindahan. Nasabi namin, itong tindahan na to have a history of 2 years. Maganda ang takbo niya. Nung binigyan nila ng pondo, nasira. Nagsara. Kaya sabi namin, again, in the end, how to manage the fund. Yung bang pagkatinignan namin yung reason why bumili ng kotse. Sabi niya, gagamitin kong pang-grab.
Ano kinalaman sa LPG nun?
Tapos, yung isa, nagkaroon ng ilang girlfriend.
Ano kinalaman sa LPG nun?
I think it's time na magkaroon ng financial literacy. And in fact, ito binanggit namin sa DOE. Sabi ng DOE, pati nga yung mga personnel namin gustong sumama sa program. Kasi ganun din ang na-encounter nila sa sarili nilang mga empleyado.
What do you mean?
Na mismanage nila yung fund.
Kinontract nyo ba kami for that?
Yeah. Ito yung 16 and 17 ng January. Yun yung kick-off Parang direction natin ngayon, the owner lang yung may ganyang financial literacy part of the program. Pagdating sa empleyado, hindi na. It is more on sa safety, operation. Still a 2 days yun, course. Pero pagdating sa owner, merong 4 hours doon for the financial literacy and how to guide them. Tapos magkakaroon siguro ng retooling every 6 months para lang to make sure na mag-guide talaga sila. Kasi sayang, talaga nanghihinayang kami.
Arnel, ikaw, syempre, I'm sure, di ba, you live a better life, a more comfortable life. Ano pang pangarap mo? Ano pang vision mo?
Well, ito kasi yung sa akin, pananaw ko dito. Honestly, yung company ko mismo, I'm professionalizing it by way of, it's not my children who is now
running it.
Who will probably, even in the future, will run it. Kasi sa tingin ko, like for example, I have 3 daughters and 1 son. Yung 2 daughter ko, nasa Australia yung isa. Yung isa nasa New York. They prefer. Ayaw nila mag-manage. So, ang sa akin, probably I put a professional manager, then they might be later on becomes directors na lang of the company para just to oversee.
Galing. Ilan taon ka na, Arnel?
Ngayon, 54.
Oh, bata pa.
Sabi nga, di ba normally 60, pero sabi ko sa wife ko, tingin ko hanggang 80 tayo eh. Siya yung umaayaw eh.
Yan pa rin yung drive mo, no?
Yung pa rin ang drive. Pero at least ngayon, focus na ako sa LPG lang. Kasi dati, ang dami ko rin gustong pasukin. But in the end, lahat din naman, parang kung anong na-experience ng dealer ko, yun din na-experience ko, nag-fail yung, sabi ko nga, biro ko nga sa wife ko, yung hobby is not a business. Kasi hobby ko mag-bike eh. Road bike ako eh.
Oh.
So tayo ako tindahan.
Sarado.
After how many years? Tapos mahilig akong kumain at the same time ride. Tayo ako ng bike shop na may coffee shop. Ayan, sarado. Pag hobby talaga, hindi pa pwede maging negosyo.
So, give us an advice na siguro ito yung kunyari, may nakita ka na talagang gusto mo, ang galing mo, nandyan. Dapat should they dig deep na lang, di ba? Yeah. Lalo pang palakihin yung ginagawa nila.
Ako tingin ko yung, if I'm still maybe 25 to us, maybe 35.
Okay.
Probably hindi ko pa rin ifo-focus or concentrate in the LPG business. Even then, nasa LPG na ako. Pero pagdating mo ng 40, parang
kailangan mo na pumili, no?
Kailangan ko nang pumili. Hindi mo na kaya eh. Physically, hindi mo na rin kayang i-divide yung katawan mo eh.
So, kunyari, may isang taong interesado pumasok sa LPG business, Arnel. Ano yung qualifications na kailangan meron siya para sabihin, sige, pwede ako dyan?
Well, seriousness in wants to become a businessman. Yun lang ang qualification namin.
What does it take for you to become a businessman?
Number one, the focus. Dapat nandun yun. Palagi meron kaming challenge doon sa gustong pumasok as a franchise. Sabi namin, there's the available store na pwede ka munang maging trainee ron. Like an employee, you observe. If you get the idea already and you want to continue to manage it, then that's the time. Open naman yan, store na yan to be franchise.
What if may OFW yung sabi, ay may pera ako, pero wala ako dito. Paano yun?
Well, it's the family member siguro nila. Ang tingin namin na pwede rin namin turuan. Kasi ang sabi ko nga, nandyan na yung professionalizing the industry. Handling an LPG business nandyan na, including safety. And then, idinagdagan pa namin doon, tinatawag natin financial literacy so that they will know how to handle their finances. Which the kick-off will start in January. Ito yung tinatawag nating training institute.
Ito yung good news. After ng 2 days, kung na-realize, mahirap pala, hindi pala para sa akin, they can back out, tama?
Yes, they can back out. Pero sabi nga natin, kailangan din naman ng sino man gustong pumasok sa LPG business is the certification of that training institute.
Sige, what if there's a person out there right now, di ba? Probably they want to start an LPG business o how do they get in touch with you?
Well, the best thing is they can call up or they can just search in the Facebook page of Regasco, request a meeting with our management staff in our head office. Then they will guide them. Kasi ang ginagawa namin ngayon, we manage the store, we grow it, and then we franchise it. Meron din naman iba na dealer store na sila ng LPG that later on they want to have the system and the brand. Kasabi na, pwede ba itong store ko if a-franchise ko sa inyo? Ang condition naman namin doon is we will lease the property from you, then we will transfer the ownership to Regasco, then you franchise and you manage it. So, ganun na ginagawa na.
Arnel, please give an advice to people na nangarap, bigla na lang, umokay, just like you, diba? Nagkaroon ka ng refilling station, bigla na lang nawala. And then, dapang-dapa right now. Or probably, dati meron silang trabaho, biglang nawala. Or meron silang negosyo, nawala. Meron silang kliyente, biglang nawala. Please talk to them, how can they recover?
Well, number one, again, ang tanong lang naman dun palagi is that anything you lose is, can it be replaceable? Sa akin, in my case, when the 2016 incident happens, I am really decided na I will rebuild it, fix it, rather than go to another industry. Dahil, as you know, that is where your expertise is. Kung ano man yung nangyaring aksidente or problem or challenges, you have to learn from it. Just like what I did right now is I continue to operate the same business because that sector is where I belong. That is my expertise. So for people who is listening, check yourselves inner self, ano yung expertise mo, and then focus on that. I think that's the best way, rather than always try another thing. Parang waste of time. Lalong-lalo na kung nandun ka na sa 40s.
Tama. Ang sinasabi lang ni Boss Arnel, huwag kang susuko. Laban lang.
Yeah.
Pagbutihan mo, bangon ka muli. Okay lang na magpahinga. Huwag ka lang susuko. Ika nga, ang mga problema sa buhay, di ba? Hindi dapat tinatambayan. Dinadaanan mo lang. Thank you very much, Boss Arnel. Thank you so much. Talagang, grabe. Yung story, mix ng story mo. It's very, very empowering and engaging. So guys, yun nga, kung may mga comments kayo regarding this episode, na gustuhan nyo, kung ano yung revelation sa inyo, please type it in the comment section. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. As I always say, tamang karunungan, tamang disiplina po ang susi sa pagyaman.
Good afternoon.
This is Ryan Tan. At a very young age, he faced the heartbreak of losing his father.
So it was very difficult for me, yung high school. Kasi
Life took a dark turn. Troubles and vices became his reality.
marami nang nawawala sa loob ng bahay namin kasi parang pag bumababa yung dosage mo, parang you need to find another shot. So
But then, the Lord Jesus intervened.
merong isang pastor na nag-preach sabi niya, pay attention to the tension in your heart. Kasi sometimes that's how God speaks to you.
Inspired by his wife's unwavering passion for the dental industry, Ryan felt the divine hand guiding him towards an unexpected path. And then, the unimaginable happened. From being a voice proclaiming the kingdom of God,
And in total, I served in the ministry for 20 years.
Wow.
Oo.
becoming the leader of one of the top dental clinics in the Philippines, Ryan Tan's journey is a testament to the extraordinary power of faith and transformation.
Tapos di ko naman naintindihan yung journey nung mama ko talaga completely. Di ko malilimutan. Pag PTA, tinataguan ko yung mama ko. Kasi nahiya ako
Money Masters with Chin Key Tan.